Let's take you live to the Beitbridge border post now in Limpopo, where South African Defence Force boats are now patrolling the Limpopo River. It's after the BMA's repeated calls for urgent intervention as immigrants exploit loopholes to enter the country illegally. Newzroom Afrika's Scara Mafokoane has been following those developments and joins us live from Musina. What is the latest with this story, Scara?
Good morning once more, Mashaba. Just quickly, on your live shots, you can, on the live picture, those are some of the Zimbabwean nationals who have crossed illegally in the last 5 minutes. So despite the SANDF being deploying at least, I could count at least 2 boats, speedboats around in the east and western side of the river, what we have noticed is that as soon as they leave to go to the west, those people who you see now made their way, took them less than 5 minutes to cross from the Zimbabwean side to the South African side. And I'm trying to look closely. That boat is still in the river, and I think it's trying to attempt to go back towards the Zimbabwean side. So the interventions by the SANDF, since we've been here, this is the first intervention, I must mention, from at least on the river side. So what we were told by authorities here is that the fencing along which divides South Africa and Zimbabwe is problematic, and it's not even a deterrent. So what the people you saw who were on the shots right now are moving westward towards that fence, and it's so easy to cross. So there is a big problem there, Maschaba. But let's take a listen to what the BMA told us about the fence, which is now not even a deterrent anymore.
The fence itself is a problematic crisis for us, because now it disadvantages the whole process of arresting as well as deportation. We arrest someone now, and then within 30 minutes we see the same face within our port that we need to cross over again. But what we usually do as law enforcement, we profile the individuals that giving us problems at the border, the port itself. Then we open cases for them so that they can go trial and then be charged as such. But the main point that you just mentioned of the fence really is a disadvantaging factor or a demoralizing factor for all of us as law enforcement. We are trying our level best to do as much as we can so that at least we are managing the space at all times within the area itself.
According to the Maschaba, they say they are trying their level best. But we know that there are other law enforcement agencies like the SANDF and the South African Police Service who act as law enforcers in this part of the border. But seemingly, Maschaba, it would seem there's still a problem. Now, the fence that we speak about extends to, it's about a 40-kilometer of a fence which stretches from the east and the west side of the border. But we're still seeing a problem. I mean, this deployment of the SANDF, we did not know about it. We just came crossed it when we came to the river, and we counted at least about 10 SANDF members on those 2 speedboats. But however, it's still not being deterring some of these people who are hiding in the bushes. And I'm trying to look closely. The gentleman that is on that boat, it would seem he's still on the South African side, and if I can see clearly, there are people waiting for him. It could be that he will be taking people back to Zimbabwe. So we still see this problem persisting along the Limpopo River. The BMA said they've made appeals to government intervention. They're saying at least if the river is not a deterrent enough, at least the fencing infrastructure along this fence should assist them. They have boots on the ground, they say, but it's simply not enough to cover the radius of this border. So this problem, it's not the first time, Maschaba must mention, it's a persistent problem almost on a daily. Every festive season we report of illegal entry of people and of goods inside in and out of South Africa. On 2 days ago, Mashaba must mention, there were minors between the ages of 5 and 17 who were intercepted in the bushes here. You can imagine a 5-year-old walking unsupervised in these bushes. It's not only unsafe, but you think of the child's welfare as well, and the immigration laws that are being broken. So it is a big problem, as we expect those numbers to peak around midday of people crossing legally. There's seemingly a problem of illegal entry, as we've just shown you live on the channel here what is happening, despite the interventions that have been put here with SANDF patrolling the river.
All right. Thanks very much, Scara. That's Scara Mafokoane, who's coming to us live from the Beitbridge border post in Limpopo, where South African Defence Force boats are now patrolling the Limpopo River to try and really resolve the situation.